What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls. Later on today's episode, we got to preview the game going down tonight as the Chicago Bulls face the Orlando Magic. Can the Bulls get back on track? We'll talk about all that and some more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Bulls fans. So we are back. And so the Bulls face the Orlando Magic tonight. This is their last game until Monday. Just to go over some of the injury report things, Patrick Williams is listed as questionable for this game, considering that they have a few days of rest between now and that game. I kind of expect Patrick Williams to miss this game tonight against the Orlando Magic. Now, what does that mean on the other side of the ball for the Bulls, considering the Bulls, as we all know, have a length deficit, right? So anytime we're going to miss somebody like Patrick Williams, who has some length to play against the longer lineup that the Orlando Magic put out there on the court, it could hurt. But one of the things that are on the other side is that the Magic, it looks like Paolo Banchero may be out this game. Wendell Carter is a game time decision, so we'll see if he ends up playing. If both those players are not in the game, it really does affect the length and kind of evens that a little bit out as much as it can for the Chicago Bulls. But I know I want to see Paolo play. Like I like the guy's been electric all season, one of the most electrifying rookies I've seen in a while. And it sucks, he may not play tonight against the Bulls, but it kind of is what it is there. Also seems like Gary Harris may be making his return, his season debut today against us. So be on the lookout for him to have a big game. As we know, the Bulls tend to let role players, for some reason, go off on them in these games. But when it's all said and done, is this, right? This Bulls team, regardless of who's on the court or not on the court for the Orlando Magic, they got to play. You have to execute on both sides of the ball. We need to play with some goddamn heart. Can we have any heart out there? That's what we need to see from this team. This is a team in the Orlando Magic that only have 4 wins on the season so far. So it's a team that, regardless, yes, they have a lot of talent there over in Orlando, and I like what they do. I like a lot, like Paolo. I like how they come together. You guys know I like Franz Wagner as well. But this is a team that the Bulls should be able to take care of business against. But the sad state of things are right now with the Bulls is that with the way that they've been playing and the up and down and the lack of consistency, lack of heart, any team that can come in with some heart can take advantage of the Chicago Bulls. And so that's always been the biggest question with the team so far this season. That's the biggest concern, at least for me. And hopefully the Bulls are going to come in and play a little bit better, right? Have some pride about the way that they go about business and do their work. Because I tell you what, while the Orlando Magic don't have a lot of wins, they are on the top half of defense in the NBA. We're above them. Of course, we rank right now as the 12th best defense in the NBA. But the Bulls cannot come in this taking this game lightly at all. If the Bulls overlook the Orlando Magic, or not even overlook, just come out with that lackadaisical, whack energy that they've been playing with the last couple of weeks, I tell you what, this game is not going to go well for the Chicago Bulls, regardless of who is out, who's not out for whatever team. We have to see a performance from our big three that is worthy of calling them the big three. Right now, they're just the three. They're just the three. The way that they've been playing this season, they are just 3 guys, right? Some pretty damn good basketball players, but we can't even label them a big 3. We also need contributions if you're in that starting lineup. I know some Bulls fans, and shout out to Aiden over the Bulls show, are like saying, let's start going over Io. If you look at it, the minutes at that point, I think will start wearing Goran down. But regardless of that, Io is our starting point guard. He's going to start. We need more from him, though. The bench has been pretty consistent. I think over the last couple of games, the bench hasn't been as consistent as probably what we're used to seeing. Probably the 5 or so games after that, even without Drummond being out there. But the bench is not the thing that I'm worried about. Goran, Drummond, they know what they do out there. And Javonte and Derrick Jones Jr., while they don't always show up necessarily in the points column, they always make contributions that definitely help the Chicago Bulls in games, especially with energy, defense at times, shot blocking. So this team is going to have to try to find a way to put some form of getting on track against the Orlando Magic. This is a team that's coming into your building, right? And we haven't defended home court the best here as of late, which is another frustrating thing about this team, because how are you going to keep letting teams come in and punch you in the mouth at home? But with all that being taken away from that, you're at home tonight. You're preparing for your longest road stretch of the season. You need to get a win for the Chicago Bulls home fans right now before you go off on that streak. This is a very winnable game for the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine is going to have to actually score the ball. Like, what are we going to get? Are we going to get an efficient game from Zach? Are we going to get an efficient game from Vooch? Is DeMar going to be a little bit more aggressive? Like, the way that the team construction, when you bet on continuity, you want to bet on players playing better together after being together longer, right? After forming that bond, after being in this team and this organization and this play style, you guys just learn each other. It's almost like a second hand. When the three, or they're supposed to be the three biggest cogs in at least your offense, don't seem like they're on the same page as of yet this season, it's going to bring about a lot of questions. All I'm saying is this. This is a game that hopefully you can start building upon. And even does beating the Orlando Magic mean something in the long run, considering they're a team that's more than likely to be in the top of the draft and in the top of the league? In some ways, no, it shouldn't. And it's sad to say that that's where we are in our season right now, that we're looking at a win over the Orlando Magic as being like, hey, this is a one that we can get to start building some chemistry, right? It sucks. The Bulls have the next two games at home. This one against Orlando, and then we are Monday against Boston. The Bulls need to make a stance in this home stand, right? This is the last two games for a while. We won't see the Bulls at home again until December 7th. That is the next time that the Bulls will be in Chicago playing, is December 7th. So can you build on some chemistry here against Orlando? Use this a little bit as a tune-up, which again, I can't even say with a straight face because this team has been so up and down this season that, hey, they may come into this game technically the underdogs, especially if Paolo was playing. And that's what's sad to say. But can this team start building on doing some things, making routine, and build in some confidence? Get to stay at home over the weekend. Get ready for Boston at home. You lost the last game, and this is the rubber match between you and Boston. If this team in this homestand, right, in this 2 games of being at home, doesn't start showing signs of turning the corner with heart, right? Talk about the win column a different day. If this team doesn't start showing some heart in this stand, I keep saying, and I've been telling you guys, we'll know by the end of November. We may not have to know by the end of November. I do think though that this long road stretch to in November and go into December could do a lot for the Bulls as far as teaching them like how the grittiness needed to go through a grueling season like this, which they should already know because we have veterans on this team. But I'm hoping that the Bulls, over the course of these next basically 7 to 9 games, really unlock something and figure out something about them. Because if I've said it on the last couple of episodes, all the fixes for this team lie internally. I know we do need some size. Those are kind of the things that we look at from wanting to fix from the outside in. But at the end of the day, is this Bulls team has to do better with what they have. They have to play with some heart. They have to play with some pride. We've seen none of that this season. This has been a season that has laid down and taken it almost all season long. Can they break the slide tonight against the Orlando Magic? If Patrick Williams does play, does he step up a little bit? Who steps up in his absence? Does Javonte Green look like preseason Javonte Green? This Bulls team's defense cannot let this Orlando Magic team get hot, either from operating inside or shooting the 3 ball, because the way that the Bulls have been playing, that has been the Achilles heels of the Chicago Bulls. We got to hope that this team is going to improve. We got to hope that this team is going to maybe show some signs of life, because as of right now, for many Bulls fans, the Bulls look DOA and the season hasn't even really started yet. It's difficult. I try not to make a determination on a team until about 25 games into the season. But I'll tell you what, man, I just don't know. I don't know. But I hope things change. Now, before we go, I do want to talk about this, and then we'll go ahead and shut down the show, is that we are at the 6-week mark now of when Lonzo Ball was supposed to be reevaluated. We have not yet got any news. I kind of talked about this on the live stream the other day. Due to the fact of us hitting that 6-week mark, if we go into next week, they may just be waiting. You know, they're home over the weekend, home on Monday. Maybe they wait to do something at the presser to say, hey, this is kind of his timeline. But as Bulls fans see that this team's struggling, and as Bulls fans continue to see, hey, Lonzo could really help this team, and we don't get that transparency, it raises a lot of questions when it comes to Lonzo Ball. Is it a more positive one? Are they playing it close to the chest because they think they're going to come out with something that says, hey, Lonzo will be back first week of December, something like that, and they want to really wait to get that locked in before they do the up and down thing that they had to do last season of fans getting ready, hopeful, hopes being crashed, things like that? Or is this a bigger sign of maybe he's still just not going to be ready? I know there are a lot of Bulls fans that think that there's a chance that Lonzo Ball misses this whole season. I have held out hope on that. I'm not saying that I don't understand the concern there. I'm still holding out some hope. But as we near that 6 week mark and go forward past that mark, I just wanted to mention, hey, we still have not heard anything about Lonzo Ball as of yet. Let me know if you think that's a sign for concern. Do you think that may be a sign that something's good for a change? Last update that we heard was that he was running in a pool, so doing some workout, aerobic work exercises there. So aquatic is the word that I want to use, aquatic workouts. But yeah, that's it for today. Make sure you guys let me know down below what you feel. We will have our pregame, our halftime hangout, and postgame shows all tonight. So we got a jam-packed night for the Chicago Bulls coverage today. But yeah, make sure you follow the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related because of you guys. And like I like to end everything on, go Bulls, love you guys, and peace, y'all. Make sure you see red. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.